Hello everyone on the planet, my name is Akko. Have you ever wondered how modifying an Alight Motion app called after Motion Z was made? Well, today in this video, I'm going to reveal to all Alight Motion lovers the massive potential that this app has that will change the community forever. Now before we begin, a little history on why Alight Motion has not had any major updates in the past year is, the app was unfortunately abandoned due to a company acquisition. And all development was moved to a newer video editor app called Splice, which is a major step down from the latter. This has left the community raising questions and concerns for the past years, and today, this is where I put my foot down and establish a change entirely. So let's get started. Very straightforward, but you have two options on how you can proceed with this step. You can dump the .ipa completely from your device onto your computer, which is the safest and privacy-protected option. If you prioritize your security a lot, or the second option, downloading the .ipa from the internet, which is also considered the most common option, as some websites have cracked the apps they've formerly dumped to have in-app features unlocked just to resell it to you for free. This step is important because if you want to add your custom XML effects to the app's data, you must gather the .ipa on your computer to prepare for modding, which this statement is fairly common sense for most viewers. Once you succeed this step, let's move forward to the next step. Once you have your IPA file on your computer, rename the file extension from IPA to zip and begin extracting the contents. Now, this is where the revealing part begins. Keep entering through the folders until you reach the .app folder. Once you've done that, pay very close attention to this part, as this is mandatory to ensure you don't mess with anything that may break the app for once you rezip later on. Now, find the built-in effects folder and open it. This is where the magic is revealed. Every single effect that's made here is actually all just written with XML files, which may significantly surprise you, as even the parameters were also XML written to, which connects with the shader code to ensure functionality. And this is literally where the modifying potential is very significant and exciting for all Alight Motion lovers. Here are some examples of some of your favorite effects that you might have recycled on your edits. RGB split. Entirely XML written. Glow scan. Entirely XML written. Tile shift. Entirely XML written. Even raster extrude is entirely XML written, which once again reveals the massive modding potential this abandoned app has to offer. And in the next step, I'll show you how you can write your own custom effects with XML and add them to the app's files so you can try them out yourself, as you may be getting pretty excited to unleash your creativity. But before I do, I'll need to show off the documentation on what Alight Motion can do and can't do. Here's the documentation of how Alight Motion programs these XML files for it to function in their app. You can pause to read it quickly, glance at it, or click the link in the description to look at the documentation if you're more interested. I won't be explaining these in the video. This is where the fun part begins, writing your own custom effects with XML. Now you can do this step in two ways. The first one is that if you have any known experience with OpenGL and already know the foundations of how the code is written and processed naturally, you can write the GLSL shader code and parameters in XML naturally if you rather consume time, dedication, and double-check your XML for any errors. And you can go back to the documentation part as your reference if you know exactly what you're doing. If you are more of an experienced person who rather just get stuff done quickly while maintaining persistent accuracy, you can use AI to write out the XML effects for you. However, this way relies more on prompting the AI models to ensure your effects are accurate to what you instruct it to do. When I write custom effects, I do use AI that write out XML effects for me. How I made the model to accurately write out these effects is that I trained it by providing over 320 examples of XML effects from Alight Motion itself, which allowed the AI to understand the logic of how these XMLs are made. It's mandatory to train any AI model with the content you're providing it so it can learn and understand the concepts of anything. Otherwise, when you ask it to write out content back, it'll often be inaccurate without any grasp of information. To prevent this from happening, it's important to write out prompts so the AI could understand, as well as uploading files so it understands the foundation accurately. Here's an example of how I convinced the AI to be trained on this data. I'm using one of the new models called GLM 4.7, and it took me a while to maximize and optimize the accuracy and precision of how AI would respond to instructing it to write the effects. I'll leave the files in the description for you to download and provide it to any AI model that is most beneficial to you, but still depending on the AI model. It's important to tweak the prompt templates a little bit if the model you choose performs differently than another AI model. Once you've finished writing your custom effects with XML, if you feel like you made enough effects, you can feel free to re-zip the modified payload folder and rename the file extension from zip back to IPA. Just a second reminder that your custom effects will only be displayed and functioned if you place your XMLs in the built-in effects folder of the app's data. Another straightforward step just like step 2, but backwards. Once you succeed with this step, we can advance to the last step. For this step, this often depends on what device you have and where you want your modified IPA to be sideloaded to. If your device is jailbroken, you are free to sideload the modified IPA on your jailbroken device only if you did all of these previous steps on said device. However, if your device is non-jailbroken, you need to use a secondary device, often a PC, to sideload the app to your device, which includes a USB stick connected from your device to your PC. Then, find a third-party sideloading software. I often prefer Sideloadly, which works flawlessly, but you do need iTunes installed in order for any sideloading software to work perfectly. That part is mandatory. Once you set it up in your software, start sideloading the app to your device. Once you completed sideloading your modified app, go ahead and open the app up. Open your project. If you don't have one, create one. Test out your custom effects and enjoy. I hope you are now mind blown and ready to unleash more of your creativity to this app. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you are now yet again mind blown on how the magic behind the scenes works and that you've made your own custom effect successfully. Before I cut this off, I also want to announce our Discord server where its prime focus is on modding Alight Motion, like we instructed in the video. This server is where you can share your custom effects, templates, suggestions, and even modified forks of the app itself. You can also help us grow our server by sharing the invite link across every platform and help change the Alight Motion community forever. I've been using Alight Motion since 2020, and when I first tried it out, I was very impressed by how all of these effects were possible on mobile, feeling like it's a mobile-friendly alternative to desktop Blender. And seeing all of these edits online just adds up how powerful the app is. And while yet as touched upon from the beginning, it's very sad that it was abandoned due to company acquisition and that they stopped producing newer effects to blow us away. But however, we as a community can make a significant change and bring Alight Motion back to life. And I would love to see it get resurfaced later on after making this video. I really hope that this can happen now, but time will tell. And so with that finally finished, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like if you enjoyed it, comment if you want to suggest or leave me feedback, and subscribe for more random content. And I'll see you ladies and gentlemen in the next video.